Today's daily recap for BTG Beyond the Gates is for Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025. Well, I'm going to save the best for last. Minor stuff is Danny comes to see Chelsea. She's still out walking with Madison. So she and Kat have a little heart to heart. And Kat's talking about Tomas wants her to move in and she's not ready. And Danny was like, well, don't you like him? He goes, oh, I really like Tomas, and we are really just getting in our groove and blah, blah, blah. Can't get enough of each other. So Danny's like, so there you have it. Why wouldn't you move in? She goes, I don't want to rush it. And she says, okay, I understand that. Are you afraid that what he did with Eva might happen again? She says, no, I've forgiven him and I trust him. She says, I just don't want us to really, get together like that. And I'm thinking, building a life with him and something comes along and just takes him from me. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, nothing's just gonna come along and take him from you. You are going to cause him to leave you. You're afraid of letting Tomas know who you really are, Kat. See, that's the thing. So Danny was saying, well, so she was really encouraging the moving in. I don't I don't understand that, even with Chelsea encouraging it. Bottom line, Kat and Tomas have only been serious for a couple of months. That's it. And during that one little tiff riff, the man cheated on her. I would take it slow. Their relationship is just getting off the ground. They haven't gotten to a place to where they spend so much time together to where he's either always spending the night at her place or she's always spending the night at his place. They haven't even gotten there yet. Why would you tell somebody to rush and move in with another person? Get to know them. Period. Make sure you all are liking each other for your good, bad, and ugly, because I'm sorry. Kat does not look the way she looks during the day when she gets up in the morning with no makeup on. Right now, the stage they're in, I'll bet you that whole weekend away. Oh, that girl kept that makeup on her face. Look, facial skin care probably went out the door that weekend because you want to make sure when you wake up, pretty much you still got a little lipstick, lip gloss, your eyebrows are still done because you're waking up beautiful for him, right? Well, that ain't the real world. Real world, you're going to strip all that makeup off, and your eyebrows aren't going to look like that. They haven't gotten there yet. And it takes a couple getting to know each other until they do get there. So, anyway, I'm just not a big fan of rushing and moving in with anyone, especially if you don't have to. Especially if you don't have to. So now, let's see. Kyle comes to visit Nicole. Got a picture of that. Brings her flowers. And she stands up, she's talking to him. She's like, ooh, oh, he goes, oh, what's wrong? She goes, I don't know. I think I slept wrong. So, of course, the orthopedic surgeon gives her one of the best massages she's ever had in life. Oh, he worked that kink right on out of that neck. And she asked him her little 20 questions. Really, they're probably about five, but she didn't really answer none of his. This was her turn to ask him questions. He is a traveling orthopedic surgeon. Uh, his wife died. He's a widower. She died, I think it says 7 years ago or several years ago. of a heart attack just out the blue. Let's hope we don't have no. He assisted that heart. Come on now, let's not go. We know BTG loves to do some stuff, right? Let's not do that. Okay. And thus he decided to be traveling, a traveling orthopedic. So he goes, I didn't like staying in one place at one time. I needed a break. Me being a traveling orthopedic surgeon gives me a break. I'm in different states, I'm in different towns, I'm meeting different people. He says, and every 3 months or so, I come back and I spend time with his kids or adults. I spend time with my family and their family, because I guess his kids have kids too, or one of them. So he says, and it works for all of us. So I thought, okay, you know what? I can live with that. I mean, I can live with that story. So she walks him to the elevator and he kisses her on the cheek because she finally agreed to go on that second date with him. And Ted is walking by when he's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna make sure the plans for our second date is, phenomenal," or whatever he said. And Ted is looking at this like, right? So he kisses her on her cheek, and Nicole goes to her office. She didn't even notice Ted standing there. So Ted just kind of goes to the nurse's station. He's standing by Shanice. She goes, "You okay?" He goes, "Yep." Right? And he says, "But I might need, a friend to lean on." And she goes, "Well, if that's the case, you know where to find me." But before she and Ted were talking, she was talking to Ashley. And Ashley was telling her about Winterfest and about how it was to see Andre and Danny. And she said, no, she and Danny had a good conversation or whatever. And Ted comes up and he hears them talking and he goes, "Oh, I thought you were telling us about our adventure the other day." And Ashley looked at Shanice and says, "What adventure did you have with Dr. Richardson the other day?" He goes, "In the elevator." And they were talking about they got stuck in it. She goes, "Oh, that elevator is cursed." Right, same thing. Um, but Shanice, she goes, "Why did you tell me?" And Shanice just had this look on her face and she goes, "Ooh." And so she goes, "What did you guys do in there?" And Ted said, "I got to know things about my coworker that I never knew." And Ashley says, "Really? Like what?" So Ted says, "Well, like," and Shirley says, "Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't just spread like my business out there like that." And Ted was like, "Oh, okay." Right. So he kept that a secret. He told her, "Look, now you know I'm gonna hold that secret over your head, right?" And she kind of smiled. And when he walked away, Ashley looked at her. She goes, "Oh, you and Dr. Richardson." And she goes, "I don't know what you're talking about, Ashley. I'm gonna get back to work, and I suggest you get back to work as well." And Derek comes walking in with a hockey stick kind of under his shoulder blades, but you know the way a hockey stick is, you can't put it under. Those are crutches, right? And he gets off the elevator with one, and Ashley looks at him and Shani says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what are you doing? Where is your walker?" "I got sick of that walker." He says, "This would do me just fine." And Ashley walked off, right? She's going to see a patient. So Shani says, "Derek, this is yet another one of your ideas, silly ideas." She goes, "You cannot use a hockey stick as proper support. You are going to fall and you could break your leg or you could further injure your spine." "No, I'm steady with the what?" And then he almost falls and Shanice has to catch him. She says, "Oh my God." And Ashley had just come back. Ashley went to get a wheelchair. She just came back with a wheelchair. And she goes, "Here, Derek, just get in the chair." And he goes, "No, no, I am not getting in a wheelchair. I'm not." So she goes, "Okay, then let's sit down, on the little chairs or couch area right outside the nurse's station that everybody sits down and talks at." And they were talking and they both apologized. each other for what, the same old crap. So they're kind of becoming tolerable friends. Ashley's gonna be back with him because Andre ain't available. That's how Ashley rolls. So Shanice came back with a cane, a metal cane. And he goes, and Ashley got up. She goes, good talk, Derek. She walks away. And Shanice says, here, you're going to use this. And you are going to use this until you get written doctor's permission that you don't need it anymore. And he goes, my hockey stick. She goes, oh no, I don't want to hear it, Derek. And this hockey stick is retired. It is not proper support. But this cane is. And I better not see you without it, right? So he gets up and he walks out and gets on the elevator with his cane. And I'm like, oh, Derek is his whole character is such a waste, a real waste to me. So now let's go to the good part. Bill. Bill is collapsed on the ground. And Haley is, Bill, oh my God, Bill. Now she's not talking low. Caroline should have heard her and or anybody else in that firm. Not one person came through that door. This chick picks up her phone or takes her phone out her boot, which, by the way, that was the most inappropriate outfit for an office. The chick had on short shorts, this jacket, long jacket, but taper so that you see nothing but the short shorts. And she had boots that came up almost to her thigh, which is where she kept her phone. And I was like, and this is what you're wearing to a professional legal firm. That's ridiculous. But anyway, so she picks up her phone and calls Randy and said, Randy, no, she didn't say his name. She goes, oh my God, Bill collapsed. What am I going to do? It's too soon. And he goes, what do you mean he collapsed? So he goes, tell me what you did. And she goes, well, I gave an extra dose of you know what. And I mean, and he collapsed. He's out. And what should I do? And he goes, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. You did this on your own. She goes, never mind. I'll figure out what to do myself. So she hangs up her phone. And in my mind, I'm thinking, Bill probably can hear this, right? So she's like, Bill, Bill. And she's pushing on because she realizes I can't call 911 because this is a new batch of the drug. He could be having a reaction, and this new batch that I gave him a double dose of could actually be in his bloodstream. So she's like, Bill, she's trying to, Bill, wake up, Bill, wake up. So finally, she slaps his face really hard. And he kind of opens his eyes. She goes, oh my God, Bill, Bill, you scared me so much, Bill. And he goes, Haley, why am I on the ground? What happened? She goes, you got up and you fainted. I thought you were having another stroke, Bill. And I thought, then he should be waking up the paramedics, right? I'm down here on the ground and you didn't call any help. Hmm. So she goes, come on. So he kind of sits up and she, sits up slowly. Next thing we know, Bill's on the couch because realistically, Haley cannot help that big man up, right? So he's on the couch and he's low and he says, look, I don't know what happened. He says, what could have happened? And she goes, I don't know. But now she's getting ready to text Randy, I guess to say, I got him up. But he goes, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm getting ready to call 911. Maybe we need to get you checked out. He goes, no, 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 we don't need to call 911. And so she goes, no, you know what? You're right. You did just have blood work done today. And no, she didn't say that then. She goes, are you sure? And he goes, yeah, I'm sure. No, I don't need to go. So they're talking, and she goes, well, how are you feeling? He goes, I feel druggy. Like the room is spinning. He wanted to say, I feel like I've been drugged. Because he didn't say, I feel like I'm drunk. He's like, the room is spinning. And so he goes, I think I know what happened to me. And she looked at him. She goes, what? He goes, I haven't eaten all day. And I had to fast before I went to get my blood work done. He says, all I've had was the tea that you gave me. And she goes, oh, then you need to eat. Oh, no, absolutely. You need to eat. I'm going to go see what's in the break room. And I'm thinking, if he didn't eat whatever's in the break room, unless they catered in lunch, or you going to steal somebody's lunch out the refrigerator, what's in a break room is not sustenance enough to help the human body feel better. So she comes back with a stupid plate of cookies and some orange juice. And before she came back, when she says, let me go get you something from the break room, Bill looks at her and he said, something about she's perfect, she's unbelievable, how she takes such good care of him. But the way he said it and the way he was really looking at her, because she goes, I know, I'm your wife. And when she walked away, Bill kind of looked at her and then he looked over at that teacup. And I said, uh-oh, Bill Hamilton is starting to suspect. And it was almost as if he did hear her on that phone and he's not letting on. So when she comes back with the cookies and the orange juice, which orange juice turns my stomach, oh my God. But anyway, he says, Haley, since I did pass out, maybe I should go to the hospital and have tests run so we could find out what happened. And she goes, well, Bill, you said it yourself. You said you hadn't eaten. And that was probably it. And if we go to the ER, it's going to take forever. And they're going to run the same test that they already ran on you today. And you came back a clean bill of health. And he looked at her. He says, well, for someone who a minute ago said you wanted me to go 911, go to the hospital, you sure did a complete turnabout, right? And he's looking at her. She goes, that's because we Hamiltons solved the problem. And the problem was food. And he goes, okay. And I said, yeah, Bill's going to probably set her up. But unfortunately, he's not going to know what she's drugged. So it's going to be hard. She's not stupid enough to have drugged the orange juice that she just gave him, but it is just that simple. He is not going to be able to eat or drink anything this chick gives him if he truly suspects her. And that's going to be hard not to do, right? That's going to be hard not to do. Now we have Samantha really doing a lot of research. She went to the library, had books, and uh, Tyrell was teasing her about old school and books. He goes, oh, but that's right, because you don't have your phone. Well, Martin and Smitty come in and they give Samantha a gift, which was her old phone back. And Tyrell was like, that ain't no gift. And Samantha says, this is the best gift I ever wanted. I've got my life back. And I guess she wants to be a debutante. Like, it's a family tradition. And except for Chelsea and Danny didn't because they were out modeling, with Chelsea was modeling. And Danny didn't do it because she was modeling. But Naomi did, and Nicole did, and Kat. They all went through the whole debutante cotillion things. So anyway, she's bummed out. She missed the etiquette training, but whatever. So she's got her phone back. Let's see how this girl, how quickly she goes off the straight and narrow. But she seems to be on a mission with this free clinic thing going on. She seems to be on a mission. So let's hope that keeps her focused. But that's it, everybody. Nothing else happened today. I'm looking down my notes and no, I think I covered everything. Martin had lunch with Ted. It was just little father-son talk. Nothing major came out of that conversation. And that is it. So I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of BTG Beyond the Gates.